Please join me in welcoming back on stage Guo Xiaolu. I would like to have my crew come up as well, please. Shi Ke from China, my producer Klaus from Germany, Udo Kier, please, and my DOP Michal from Poland. And if our Italian Mafia producer, Flamino, is here, please. Are you here? The Mafia producer always wrong with. So I'm going to start by asking a very simple question. The film is adapted from your novel. So how was the process from working from your own novel and then translating it into what we see today?
Is it possible to turn this lower? Because I'm always screaming like a director, so now I have to be whispering. Hello, so I was mentioning yesterday, during the writing of the novel, so I was reading Bulgakov's Master and Margarita. I loved the Soviet literature, but Master and Margarita was very strong, influenced when I was writing this story, because I didn't want to do the one individual story in a very, the classical story is one hero, and with this film is now the 10 characters. So we have Chief Chang, we have the foreigner, they have Kwok Yun, bicycle man, we have Kap Lee, we have the Secretary Zhao, and all these side characters, and they're very, very important to compose the whole village. So there's the 10 characters, and then plus one more, which is the police character behind the camera. And during the shooting, we have the police in front of the camera as well. But in the editing way, we prefer to take him totally into this kind of totalitarianism as an abstract concept. So you can see, I think, the novel writing was really kind of it's quite ideological writing. The novel was very schematic, and I prefer the film script, which is much more character-based, much richer. But also, I think the real shooting is something else, because the landscape, which Michal was really working on the imagery of the film a lot. Yeah.
I'm going to open up to the floor. Does anyone have a question for the director, casting crew?
And my crew's there.
Don't be shy. Do you want me to ask another one? Oh, yes,
There were several times when the camera, the image on the screen was as if it came through the eyes of an animal.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, is the idea that the aliens, the UFO, was in the animals, or was that nothing to do with anything?
You can read in that way. So I think if you read that way, it's coherent when the ending, when you see this strange white big object on the water. During the shooting, actually, we shot much more surreal things. For example, this 2 dream sequence. You see this very obscure naked man on a boat in a big river, and then this second dream sequence in the ending part when he was on horse in this pine forest. But we shot more of that. And of course, we shot as animals, POV, and my idea is to push this very social realistic story into somewhere which towards the future, almost like semi-real village. Because I think it's more, it's larger when you take this case, this totalitarian case, into a large scale, not remaining this very social realistic cinema style, which Chinese cinema very, it's our classical form. It's very real, and I think it's important to go beyond real. Yeah. Michal, do you want to talk about the animal shooting through the glass? He's very shy, so he's from Poland. After vodka and whiskey, he will speak a lot. There's, yeah, please.
How long did it take you to shoot the movie, and what part of China was that made in?
Yeah, we have the pre-production was quite quite strong preparation. So 2 months in the location, building those UFO, building the set, and the modification of the real village into the second part. It's the second part when the village becomes very modern, kind of exaggerated capitalism. So the building process was quite, like 2 months, every day working. And then the shooting was around 2 months. It was quite on a schedule, although we had disasters with a monsoon season, which is in the South China on the border towards Vietnam. So very remote area in Guangxi province towards Vietnam. And I think the difficulty is really the totally unpredictable weather, which delayed the shooting a lot. And I think we were really worried. Producer very worried because there's this big scene in the ending. You see the 300 peasants on the riot and then 300 peasants on the wedding, and we were shooting for 3 days. But the things, it was sunny one day, and the next day it was big rain, and there's absolutely no continuity for such a story. So we had to improvise quite a lot about this.
Yes.
You talked about the political environment that you worked in.
The political environment?
Yeah, in China.
It depends what you mean. You mean the shooting restriction or the artistic creation? Because for me, when you're in a very ideologically very controlled country, it forces the artist to find as a metaphor, to find as the transcendence of a realistic story into somewhere much symbolic. So it's like Kafka's story. You have to take it from the reality, find a way to express it, even in a twisted way. And I think can force the creativity much stronger, much more imaginative. But during the shooting, it's it's very smooth because we're in a very remote village, and we have big space to play around. And for this production, it's very. It's quite a special production. It's really international teams come to this province. And maybe Klaus, you can tell us, it's first time Klaus produced a film based in China, and he based in Hamburg, if you have heard of. But anyway, Klaus, you want to talk?
Well, if you have heard of Hamburg, Hamburg is a very famous city. No, we try to do international co-production also with China, but it's not so easy because you have to go through this process of sending in your script, go through censorship, which didn't happen for a very long time until we finally decided to shoot. And of course it made me very nervous to shoot. I mean, it's like, of course everything was legal, but still. It made me nervous, but then everything went very fine and very professional. What else can I say?
Can I take this joke? I think as a producer, we always punish producer. Filmmaker hate producer, and so we said this German producer going to arrive in the set. What are we going to punish him? So it was a really cruel joke. The day before shooting, so those producers arrived, and he was arrested from the airport, and he was taken into our production company, forced him to take out the passport and forced him to apologize to our republic. And he was really crazed to say this is such a nightmare, day one shooting. And then immediately we said, welcome to China. And it's just totally a joke. But it's arresting, taking 2 hours. So we punished him from very beginning, and then he said, okay, I think it cannot be worse than this. And then the rest of 2 months shooting was really quite smooth, and I think it's good to punish producer from day one.
So I want to just interject right now.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask the customer this.
Please, yeah.
Yeah. What was the experience like working with Xiaolu and on the production?
Yes, I like this movie. I take this Korea almost 24 years. This is I most like this style. With Xiaolu is friends each other 10 years more. 2 years ago, I get this drama to now almost 2 years. So I'm happy I come here to this movie. And I'm so happy to join this international team. This is my first time the experience. So, and I should be saying thanks. Welcome, theater, look our movie. Thanks.
So he needs some alcohol. So Udo.
She's really crazy. As you know from the film, I like China. I said it loud and clear. I love China. So for me, it was a great experience. The first time, of course, I'm in China, and when they offered me the film, being the only foreigner with Chinese actor, and I had a wonderful time there because it was also new, but perfectly for the role I played. So I just had to imagine that I was there before and got bitten by a snake, and then I went back and finally I arrived in a helicopter like Bill Clinton, and everybody is waving, and yeah, you saw the film. And what can I say? I like China.
So because the decision with Udo was quite, I think, a special decision. You know, I wrote this character based on a real American adventurer, real historical figure called Steve Foster, and he's airplane adventurers. He flying around the world with a hot balloon, I think in the 70s or 80s, and he's billionaire, like American entrepreneur from the new capitalism time. And I read the stories about this Steve Foster character who travels through the whole world, but almost died on his balloon and as a helicopter he has. And he has money, so he go around the whole world. And I thought, I needed this character in my film. That's why you see the character called Steve Frost. But then I thought, I don't really want a typical American-looking man who speaks very typical English, because that's really too obvious, you know. So I was thinking to get a European man, and perhaps a bit gay, a bit sexual, a bit weird.
Okay, hello. Well, I
try to find some weird European man living in Hollywood. But wait. So then I said, who can give me some weird DVD to watch? And then some amazing gay and lesbian filmmakers from...
I told you not to drink too much wine. It's ridiculous. What you're trying to tell people about.
But this is very artistically creative, yeah. So then I saw this experimental sex movie Udo played with naked, totally naked, from Monica Trott. And so I said, this naked man is amazing. And the way he speaks English is so odd. I cannot get him. But then they say he's from Hamburg. I said, okay. So I said, I don't care. And then he came all the way, but from Beverly Hills. So we have to pay so much money for the business class.
That's not true. So now it's my microphone. I go over here. That's not true. But I was a little bit annoyed that yesterday when we had the first screening talking about Bulgakov, Master Margarita, which is one of my favorite books, playing the devil, Wolan with a big fat cat. And yesterday she just said, well, my story is actually based on Bulgakov. And I think it's a wonderful story, Bulgakov. And I wasn't the devil, I didn't have a cat, and I'm from Cologne.
Very good. Okay, so I'm going to work on this next project. More question, I guess?
Yes, at the back.
Why was Bicycle Repairman silent?
Good. You realize that. So in the story when I wrote, there's of course there's double meaning. How this American is arriving, and right after this so-called UFO sighting, and why this only migrant in the village is such a weird young beautiful man which is crippled, has no voice. Of course, it's some idea linked to the ending, the future, the unknown future, the alien idea.